Good morning to you, to the Sunrise family, to the Architects. Today is July the 12th, and my God, what a week it has been. I'm coming to you because today is a prayer day for me. Whether you know it or not, we shoot the videos through the week, and around 12 o'clock on Thursdays, this is a time where I always reserve for myself. I've been doing it for years, where I get by myself and meditate and go into deep consecration and meditation. And so because I'm filming today a little bit after 12 o'clock on the day you happen to catch me with my prayer regalia on. And it's always a joy to come into your home, to have an opportunity to sit and talk with you. And we've been getting so many calls, so many letters, texts. People have been emailing the church saying how much these messages have meant to them. As of now, last month, everybody was excited about 2 million. People couldn't believe. There was an excitement in the air. We could not believe that 2 million people had been infected. But we have hit a new milestone just yesterday. It came over the television. Dr. Fauci said that more than 3 million, less than a month, 3 million have contracted the coronavirus. Here in the United States of America, 135,000 have died in the last 3 months. Now you think about that. In about 90 days, 135,000 Americans have lost their lives due to this corona. And it is now mandated, and I'm so glad it is, by the state. And our mayor told us, informed us that Shreveport and the governor of Louisiana and Texas and other cities and states have made it mandatory that you wear your mask, and I'm so glad that it's happening. Because today is what I call my prayer day, I thought it would be in order to talk about prayer today. I had the opportunity to author a book, publish a book. Lord has blessed me. I've written 5 books, but one of my books is called Power of Prayer. And I looked at the prayers of the Bible. There are 77 different prayers in the Bible. Because so many people are losing their jobs, and businesses are folding, companies are filing bankrupt, so many people are losing their jobs. You'd be surprised how many people are dealing with depression, dealing with stress. They are overloaded. It's too much for them to bear. And because today is my prayer day, and I wanted to talk about prayer. There are 77 different prayers in the Bible, but I wanted to talk about today the saddest prayer in the Bible. The saddest prayer in the Bible. Now get your Bible and go to the book of Psalms, Psalms 142. Come on, get your Bible. Aunt Bertha, Aunt Mary Dennis, Aunt Thelma, Mother Bell, Linda Wright, Siobhan Hawkins, come on, Gwendolyn Barnes, Jamila, come on, Ernestine, come on, get your Bible. And let's look at the book of Psalms 142. There are 77 different types of prayers in the Bible. But the saddest prayer in the Bible is Psalms 142. Now this is David, and he wrote this prayer. This prayer is recorded when he was going through a moment of depression. He, along with 400 men, they are on the run from King Saul and his army. There is a pandemic in the land. There is a famine in the land. Death is in the air. People are dying. David, along with his 400 soldiers, used to live in a castle, used to live in their own houses, palatial pads. But because of what has transpired, life has turned them inside out like a pocket. And David, in this pandemic, David, in this moment of misery, David, who was dealing with all of this turmoil, his world was turned upside down. He went from being in a castle to now he's hiding in a cave. He went from sitting on a throne, and now he's sitting on a rock. He went from being in a palace, enjoying the sweet aroma of beautiful, fragrant flowers, and now he's in a cave, smelling the horrible stench. Can you imagine how 400 men who have not taken a bath in about 2 weeks, can you imagine how they smell out there in the desert? Can you imagine the stench, the sweat? Can you imagine how they smell? 2 weeks, 400 men in a cave. Can you imagine how they smell? And David is so overcome with depression, Mother Furlow. He's so overcome with depression, Mother Gardner and Mother Wade and Mother Moore. He's so overcome with depression. David, if you're using your mind's eye, he sits down and he begins to pray this prayer. And I hope you'll read along with me, Psalms 142. But listen, if you will. Imagine going back in time, 4,000 years in a cave with 400 men. And listen at what David cries out. Listen at the prayer he prays. Beginning at verse 1. I cried unto the Lord with my voice. With my voice unto the Lord did I make my supplications. Verse 2. I poured out my complaint before him. I showed before him my trouble. Verse 3. When my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then thou knowest my path. In the way wherein I walked, have they privately laid a snare for me. Look at verse 4. I looked on my right hand and beheld, but there was no man that would know me. Refuge failed me. No man cared for my soul. Nobody even cared about me. Verse 5. I cried unto thee, O Lord. I said, thou art my refuge and my portion in the land of the living. Attend unto my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, from this pandemic, from these problems, from my depression, from my stress. For they are stronger than I. They are more than I can bear. And then he tells you how he feels in verse 7. He says, bring my soul out of prison. He felt like it's just like I'm in prison. that I may praise thy name. The righteous shall compass me about. For thou dealt bountifully with me, my God. This is David. And David, the one that we know wrote, "The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want." David, who wrote, said, "I will rejoice, I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praise shall continually be in my mouth." This David, who said, "Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise." This David who said, "Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us bless his name together." This David who was always shouting, who always was so enthused, who was always so excited, who was filled with praise and jubilation. This David who said at one time he had to encourage himself. This David, the man after God's own heart. Is it possible that a man who is so notorious for being a worshiper, a praiser, who is steadfast and unmovable, is it possible for a Christian who pray, who sing, who preach, who teach, who minister to others, who encourage others, is it possible for a good usher, a good choir member, a good deacon, a devoted member to have a moment of depression? The answer is yes. It is possible. Because it doesn't matter how happy you are and how jolly you are. Everybody would have their moments when life would bring you down to a moment of depression, a moment of despair. It doesn't matter whether you have a GED or a PhD. Life don't care nothing about that. It doesn't matter whether you drive a Mercedes or a Mercury. Whether you drive a Rolls Royce or a Rambler. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter whether you drive a Porsche or a Pony. It really doesn't matter. Life have a way of taking the wind out of your sails. And you can be walking along with your bag in your hand and you think you got it all together. And the bottom of your bag will drop out. Have you ever been there? For the last 3 or 4 months, we're dealing with it right now. And some of us are dealing with something. We're in a chapter of our life that we never ever thought. We're dealing with stuff we never thought we would have to deal with before. Some of y'all were used to going to the beauty shop every weekend, getting your nails done, and toes done, every other week. Some of you were used to going filet mignon one night, and ribeye steak the next night, and caviar the next night, and lobster the next night. My. How life have turned things around. Life will throw you a curveball. And this is why you ought to treat people right, because some of the ones you laugh at and talk about while you're up, you don't know what's going to happen in life. The people you look down on and you see on the corner begging for food and have signs talking about our work for food. Can you spare some change? Before life is over, you might have to put their shoes on your feet. Can I get an amen right there? Come on. Can I get an amen right there? So now let's dissect this prayer. And let's see why we call this the saddest prayer in the Bible. Look at the prayer one more time. Number one, he vocalized his sadness. Number two, he visualized his sadness. Number three, he slips into a deep depression. Number four, he feels like he is invisible. Number five, he feels like he is indispensable or dispensable. Number six, he feels as if he is invaluable. And then number seven, when he can't take no more, his agony is overwhelming. Show me what you're talking about. All right, let's go to verse 1. He says, I cried unto the Lord with my voice. With my voice, I said unto the Lord. He vocalized his pain. For the last 3 or 4 months, people have been vocalizing their pain, vocalizing their frustration, vocalizing how they feel. When the last time you heard somebody say, I don't know what I'm going to do? How we going to make it? I just don't understand this. I've never felt like this before. When the last time you heard people say, I got a headache, I got a stomach ache, I lay down at night, I can't sleep, I find myself crying for no reason at all. He vocalized his pain. 135,000 have died. Don't you think the relatives of those who have passed on, we have vocalized our pain? But not only did he vocalize his pain, but he visualized his pain. Go to verse 2. Verse 2 says, I showed before him my trouble. I showed, because I want you to see what I'm going through, dear God. He goes from vocalizing it to visualizing. I want you to see what I'm going through. Ladies and gentlemen, as we look at television and watch CNN and MSNBC and Headline News and Fox and the internet or whatever you watch, can't you see the pain and the frustration, the aggravation, the irritating? Have you ever thought people would be fighting over toilet tissue? Have you ever thought that people would just be walking down the street and somebody pull up behind you and you take off running and they shoot you dead? Have you thought you would ever see somebody jogging through a neighborhood and they just shoot you down because you're not from around here? Did you ever think you would see a man on the ground with another man with his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 42 seconds? And you get a chance to witness on live TV a man calling for his mother before he took his last breath. In metropolitan areas, in larger cities, they're telling us right now, all weekend long, they've been telling us there's no more room in the hospital in ICU in Houston and in Florida. And they're in California, they tell you that they only got a few beds left. Can't you see the pain? People, you used to look at them and they had a light in their eye. They had a light of, they were ambitious and they were exciting. And they had hope in their faces. You could see how excited they were. But now when you look at them, someone won't even look up at you. They don't even make eye contact. The mask is covering their face, and when you look into their eyes, you see a blackness, you see a hollowness, you see emptiness, hopelessness. Good God from Zion. The light of hope is disappearing. People don't know how to take care of their children. And with all this death and destruction, people are dying, and yet they're telling us that the kids got to go back to school within a few weeks. It's kind of like the house is on fire, and you done brought your kids out the house, and now they telling you, oh, take them and put them back in that house. But the house still burning. Can I get an amen anywhere? Anywhere. My God, what a sad prayer. He vocalized it. He visualized it. Go to verse 3. Then he goes into a state of depression. Verse 3 says, my spirit is overwhelmed. Too much for me. And that's what depression is. I don't care. You can be a macho man. You can be a muscle-bound man. You can exercise every day, all day. You can be buffed. But you know what? That muscle inside of your skull, so much pressure can build up on it that you'll crumble like the Tower of Babel. You know, they said pressure will burst a pipe. And if you watch a train, it runs on tracks, iron tracks. But every now and then they have to replace those iron rails because of pressure. Now, you're not the bionic man. You're not the bionic woman. You're not Superwoman. You're not Clark Kent. You're not Superman. And with all what's been going on in our world and in America, in our state, in your neighborhood, you ain't got to look over yonder. Just look in your own household. Mentally, how are you faring lately? And you know, people look to preachers and say, you know, maybe the preachers have the answer, but do you know how many preachers are in depression, dealing with psychiatric issues, mental issues? They're stressed and strained. I have 28 preachers that I know have died. Friends of mine that I grew up with. And to see your members dying, and you can't even be there when they die. Some of them, you can't even open the casket and see them. That's enough pressure to put on anybody. Families are divided. As long as he was going to work and she was going to work, they could make it. But they find out that they can't live together. Divorces are being filed. Domestic violence is up. Can't live together because of pressure. And when you see your son die, your daughter die, your spouse die, your friends die, and every time you turn on the TV, it's death from the virus, and then you keep looking and it's death from violence, that they shoot here and they shoot there and they're killing people for no reason. Drive by this and drive by that, and the police not doing nothing because they're afraid to do something because they might get sued. That's enough to make anybody become depressed. And then when you get to verse 4, not only is he dealing with depression, but go to verse 4. I'm almost done. Go to verse 4. He feels like he is invisible, and he feels like he is invaluable. What you mean invisible? Look, he says, I looked on my right hand, and I beheld, but there was no man there that would know me. Keep in mind, he's in a cave with 400 men. Everybody know he's the king. They are his soldiers. They work for him. They are sworn to defend him. And yet he says, I'm in a cave with 400 men. But don't nobody really know me. You can become so depressed that you can be in a room full of people and feel like you're in there all by yourself. I just said something. Your heart can become so heavy, and your soul and your spirit can become so heavy laden, and you can become so depressed that you can be at a function. You can be in a family reunion. You can be sitting in a room and 10 people can be talking, and you'll be in your own world. Do anybody know what I'm talking about? Listen at what he says. I'm invisible in the midst of a crowd. I'm invisible in this church. I'm invisible in my own home. They really don't know who I am. My wife really don't know who I am. I'm married to a man, and he really don't know who I am. My parents really don't know who I really am. They don't know that I have an alias, another lifestyle I live. You'd be surprised the people who think they know you, and they really don't know you. That's why when we put our confidence in people, and when they get in trouble with the law and they commit a crime, you hear people say, I never thought that he would have done that. I had so much confidence in her. I never thought that she would have done that. People really don't know you. Or they see you smiling in the public and you trying to hold it together with your lipstick and your rouge and your makeup. You trying to hold it together with that $500 purse and look like you all that. But they don't know when you get behind closed doors. They don't know that sometimes you cry yourself to sleep. They see you in the public talking about Jesus, Jesus and Lord, and I got faith. But behind closed doors, they don't realize that you're still grieving, that you're hurt. You have not gotten over that divorce yet. You have not gotten over that broken relationship yet. There are answers, questions that have yet to be answered. People don't know what you're struggling with. Am I talking to anybody this morning? He said, I'm invisible, surrounded by a crowd, 400 men, and yet they don't even know who I am. Good God from Zion. And he says, not only do I feel like I'm invisible, but look at it. He says, I feel like I am invaluable. Go to verse 4. He says, there was no man that would know me. Listen. No man cared for my soul. The Bible says, what profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? The most valuable thing you have is your soul, because it's eternal. But he says, I feel like nobody, no man cared for my soul. Have you ever been there? The worst feeling you can have is the feeling of worthlessness, that people don't care about you. To feel like you are insecure and to feel hopeless and helpless. The marks of a man is a provider to take care of your family. But because of all what's going on, I can't even put bread on my table. You could be surprised that the people right now feel worthless, invaluable, hopeless, and helpless. I hear somebody saying right now, boy, Bishop, you talking to me today. I told you this is the saddest prayer. The saddest prayer in the Bible. Then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to let you go. I know y'all don't want to hear no more. But listen at this here. He feels invisible. He feels invaluable. Verse 4. And it was as if everything built up on him. And when you get to verse 5, he goes now from vocalizing it to visualizing it. Now he agonizes it. He agonized over it. Go to verse 5. Because verse 5 says, I cried unto thee, O Lord, I say, thou art my refuge. I cried unto thee. It was as if he had been holding it in. He had been holding back the tears. His stomach had been bubbling. He had a lump in his throat. Because after all, I'm the king and I got to set the example. I got to lead by an example. I got to be strong. The whole family depended on me. Everybody looking up to me. I got to be strong. My daughter looking up to me. My son looking up to me. My wife looking up to me. Everybody depending on me. What do you do when you're there for everybody else? But who is there for you when you're going through what you're going through? And that pressure built upon him, Deacon Wayne Smith. It built upon him, Deacon Bell, Deacon William, Bradley. It built upon him when he couldn't take no more. He tried to be strong. He tried to be macho. He tried to be a man's man. He tried to be strong. But when it built upon him, the agony was too great for him. And he said, oh God, oh God, oh God, I can't take no more. I'm a human. I'm vulnerable. I'm just flesh and blood. What I'm going to do? How I'm going to face tomorrow? How I'm going to make it? It built up on him. And he lost all of his composure. He was no longer reserved. He was no longer dignified and sophisticated. No longer did he act like he was the parochial. No longer did he act like he was the big baller and the shot caller. My God, if this message is blessing you, when I finish preaching this, I want you to call me, text me. Am I talking to you today? You've been trying to be strong and act like you got it all together. You've been trying to act like it ain't bothering you. But behind closed doors, it's bothering you. As you see your money decreasing, and as you see your bank account dwindling away, and as you see the pain come from this way and pain from that way, life is punching you and kicking you and kicking you. And it builds up on you so much that like David, you can't do nothing but just cry. Oh God. Oh God. And you know, David, that's the one you call. Don't look to your president. Don't look to your senator and your counselors, and don't look to Congress. Thank God for governors and mayors and Dr. Fauci and all of them. But with what we're going through, we need to be crying out to is the Lord God Almighty. When he prayed his sad prayer, he couldn't take it no more. And when he couldn't take it no more, he reached a boiling point and he cried out. Bishop Russell, when he cried out, he said to him, Lord, what am I going to do? That old Negro hymn that says, I love the Lord. He heard my cry and had pity on every groan. Long as I live, trouble gonna rise. I hasten to his throne. In verse 5, he agonized. But don't shut your Bible up too quick, because Deacon Brent Smith, in verse 5, he agonized in the B clause. But when you get to the C clause, he recognized. He went from agonizing to recognizing. Good God from glory. For he says, thou art my refuge. You are my portion in the land of the living. In other words, from verse 1 to 5, he was focusing on himself. He was focusing on his problems, his issues, his pandemic, his grief, his sorrow. He was focusing on his pain. But he moved, he shifted from agonizing to recognizing, because he realized it's no longer about me, but now it's about you, Lord. It's no longer about them, but now it's all about him. And I think I'll close on that now. My God, what a prayer. And what am I suggesting to you this morning, Sunrise, and everyone who watched this video, your family, your relatives? I hope you'll send this to as many people as you can. I hope we send it to 1,000 people. Everyone needs to know this. Everyone needs to read this. Everyone needs to see this video. Everyone needs to pray this prayer. When life is too much for you, it's just right for Him. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and when you've done your best, and when you done look to your mother, and look to your father, and look to your brother, and look to your sister, and look to your deacon board, and your church, and your prophets, and your bishops, when you look to Congress, and look to the government, and don't look everywhere else, your prayer needs to move from focusing on them, but focus on Him. I hear you, David. I hear you. I hear you, David, saying, I will lift up my eyes to the hill, from which cometh my help, because all of my help coming from the Lord. My God, what a sad prayer. And if you're praying that prayer right now, the good news is you ain't got to continue to pray that prayer. I'm not going to leave you hanging, because the prayer, if you pray it long enough, when you get to verse 7, that same prayer that had agonize and vocalize and visualize, that same prayer turns into satisfied. Because God answered this prayer. Because when you get to the latter part of verse 7, look at what He says. He says, bring my soul out of this prison, that I may praise thy holy name. And somebody right now may feel like you're in prison, may feel like you're in shackles, may feel like you can't make it. But how many of y'all know Jesus will pick you up, even if you have to reach way out? So you be encouraged today. Pour your heart out to God. Vocalize how you feel. Get it out. Don't hold that pressure in. Tell God what you are dealing with. Other folk may not understand your pain and your hurt. But how many of y'all know we got a God that cares? And the song say He'll come down from the sky and He'll wipe the tears from your eyes. Not now it started hooping, but I ain't got to hoop on that. After hearing all what you just heard, ain't no need of you hooping on that. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do right now, I want you to stretch forth your hand. Would you do that? In your living room, you watching this cell phone, you watching your computer, would you stretch forth your hand right now? Stretch forth your hand right now. Father God, right now, I want to pray for somebody who's praying this prayer during this pandemic. Maybe they feel like they're paralyzed. Some of them are petrified. Many don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. They have visualized it. They have vocalized it. They are agonizing over it right now. But it is my prayer, as they hear my prayer, as they've heard this sermon, that they'll be able to know that right now, that you're God that can turn this situation around. Today, as we look at this sermon and hear this prayer, I'm thankful that we can breathe without coughing. Out of 135,000 people who are gone, we are still here, able to watch this message this morning. We thank you for that right now. And my God, if you don't do nothing else for us, you've already done more than enough. Bless their household. Give them peace of mind. Lift them out of the pit of depression. Give him or her a peace that will surpass all understanding. In Jesus' name, from the Sunrise Baptist Church, we We love you so much, and I hope this message has been a blessing to you. God bless you.